Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us today. This is our first installment of our Ask an Expert series. My name's Corey, and I am on the Amazon seller training team. And today, our experts are Nick and Chris, who also work for Amazon, primarily helping sellers like yourself grow their businesses. So, as far as structure today, we're going to spend the next 30 minutes answering all of your questions around seller fulfillment, which is also known as merchant fulfilled or MFN, as some of you may be aware through your experiences in Seller University and Seller Central. So please go ahead and drop your questions directly into the question box. Our team is monitoring that and we'll answer those directly. Looking past our session today, we plan to host this series across additional topics and would love your feedback, and we'll look for that in the post webinar survey to better understand not only how we can improve the session, but also what other topics you may find beneficial as a seller. So with that, Nick and Chris, I will go ahead and turn it over to you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the introduction there, Corey. Like she said, Chris and I are experts in fulfillment here at Amazon. So we do work with sellers on a daily and weekly basis, helping them with some issues that may arise or just helping them optimize their account in various ways. So like she did say, just feel free to drop any questions you guys have in the chat. I think Chris is going to start us off with some questions just to get the juices flowing out here, and
Yep.
we will go from there.
Yeah. Thanks. Hey guys, this is Chris, and I'm excited to be able to help you guys with getting some clarity here. Nick, one question that I think would be a good one to start off with is, what is the return policy during the holidays?
Yeah, definitely. So and that's a common question that, newer sellers have, and I'm sure you guys have shopped on Amazon before, and you do see that during the holidays, we do extend our return policy just because, logistically, all the people sending back items right after the holidays is just not as feasible. So the extended returns policy for 2021 is going to be October 1st through December 31st, and they will be eligible for return through January 31st. So just keep that in mind, when you are listing your products, or if you have any customers that are reaching out about returns, we will automatically authorize these returns too. So that's just something to keep an eye on as we go through the holiday season, and it does start to get a little bit busier out there.
Got it. Thank you. That makes sense. And then what if a buyer says, this is completely off the last topic, but what if a buyer says they didn't receive their order? How would the seller best go about handling this?
Yeah, so here at Amazon, we always want to do right by the customer, and the first thing that you're going to want to do is just handle those communications with the customer very professionally. You don't want to send messages back and forth like you would be like a text message. You want to be very professional when you're going through these communications. And the first thing you can do is just say, hey, are your packages usually delivered anywhere else? Can you wait a little bit longer for this package to be delivered? And then one thing that you can do in the meantime, if they do agree to wait, is contact the shipping carrier. They're going to be the last one who had your package. Obviously, if you're doing merchant fulfilled network, you're going to be shipping out the products yourself. So that's just something to keep in mind. You're going to want to make sure that you keep your shipping receipts and just check with them. And then you can also ask if they do ask for a refund, just make sure that you're considerate through this, and see, you went through all the options and you communicated any necessary changes to delivery addresses that may have occurred, or you weren't able to, I guess, find the package with the carrier. Just go through and either issue a full return or partial return. And we can link some more information on this too in chat if Chris or Yas, you want to link that in there too, just on what I guess the game plan is for buyer returns.
Got it. Yep, we'll get that linked.
Cool.
That makes sense. And I think just kind of on the same topic, what is the general SLA that you would want to follow as a seller when you get a question or when you're hearing back from sellers?
Yeah,
Or I mean
definitely.
customers, sorry.
Yeah, you want to respond to any questions from customers within 24 hours. Hopefully a lot sooner than that, just to stay on top of it. Like I was saying before, it is going to get a lot busier during the holidays. And since you're going to be the ones that are shipping out your products to the end customer, you're going to be worried about other things too that you need to run your business. So just make sure that you respond in a timely manner and hopefully within 24 hours, just to make sure that the customers are on the same page as you are.
Got it. Yep, that's a good point. And then, do I save on my shipping costs if I use Amazon partner carriers, or can you kind of break down the difference between Amazon partnered and non-Amazon partnered?
Yeah, definitely. So you are going to generally save money on Amazon partnered carriers. And those are just going to be carriers that we have partnered with to provide discounted rates. We have seen, discounts anywhere from 30% to a little bit lower than that. So just keep that in mind. It's always best to use an Amazon partnered carrier too, because it helps with tracking your shipments. And throughout the end of the day, we want to be able to track your shipments to make sure that the customer is receiving their products in a timely manner. So I would always recommend partnering with one of our carriers, but I know larger businesses have contracts with non-partnered carriers too, and those are completely fine to use. Just know the requirements for shipping through Amazon. And let me see if I can get a link in there too for that.
Cool.
So we can send you guys some more information that has been pretty helpful for our sellers here.
Yep, thank you. And then we'll link that in right away. Here's the first link, everybody. And then, what is premium shipping?
Yeah, so premium shipping is what we offer to sellers who they can get their products out they have very high valid tracking rates, and then they have a very high on-time delivery. So that just offers them the 1 day or 2 day shipping. So you can enable that in your shipping settings too. And what that does is it really gives the customer that peace of mind that, if you are MFN, merchant fulfilled, and you're fulfilling your own orders, that they're going to get their products in a timely manner, just as if they would through FBA services or fulfilled by Amazon. And that's something that's very important to all Amazon customers, is just getting their products quickly and on time. So once you've gone through a sort of trial period of being able to show that you can, ship on time and ship with valid tracking rates and have low cancellation rates, the trial period is 90 days. And once you've gone through that, you would be available or eligible for premium shipping too.
Got it. Thank you. That's great. And what are returnless refunds? Can you explain that again?
Yeah, so returnless refunds, and some of you guys may shop on Amazon as well, and you may have seen this before. It's where you obviously, like it says, don't need to return the product or have the customer return the product to offer the refund. So you can add this as an option in your return settings, and it just, sometimes companies, it is more expensive to ship the product back to you than it is to just give them the refund. And you can enable this in your return settings though, to kind of make that customer experience a little bit better in the long run.
Great, thanks you. And then how can I provide free shipping?
Yeah, so that's going to be in your shipping settings as well. You can provide that to cover the cost of shipping for your end customer. And two, with FBA, sellers do get the free shipping. So if you're going to be doing merchant fulfilled, it is advised to do that if that is within your means, just because the customer, again, we're going for the end customer experience there, and we want to just make sure that they, they're having a good experience getting their product.
Yep. And I think that, always trying to make sure that you calculate ahead of time and forecast, what those costs are going to be, because you want to make sure you're staying within your means. So it's great feedback on that, Nick. Can a seller charge restocking fees for returns?
So they can charge fees for like gift wrapping, and they can charge fees for, sorry, excuse me, for gift wrapping and up to a certain amount of the item's price, but no, they can't do restocking fees for certain items. So we do have a list of items that they can charge restocking fees, but it is going to be just a percentage of that fee's sale price. And then
Makes
also,
sense.
yeah, and then also, I kind of did just want to touch base on, the important performance metrics for merchant fulfilled. So um, if you're going to be shipping out your own products, at the end of the day, there are a few things that you really want to keep track of, and that's going to be your late shipment rate. So just making sure your shipments are going out on time. All of these things that I'm about to go over are under the performance tab in Seller Central, and then under account health. So then after late shipment rate, you want to focus on pre-fulfillment cancellation rate. So if a seller maybe notices that your shipment isn't going to arrive within a certain amount of days, or there's many reasons that they could cancel, but sometimes they don't realize right away that they are, buying something that's not going to arrive for another 2 weeks. So that's just something to keep in mind there. And that's something that premium shipping could help you with in the long run. And then valid tracking rates too. So if you are using an Amazon partnered carrier, your valid tracking rate should be uploaded automatically. And these are, this is where you just put in your tracking information for all of your orders. And this just helps us ensure that we know that you are shipping out your products in a timely manner, and we can kind of help track where the shipment's going and if it does get to the end user. And then on-time delivery rate kind of sums up all of those. It's just, making sure that the customer actually does get their product on time. And we want to keep certain thresholds here. So for on-time delivery, you want to be over 97%. And that's really just shipping out the product when you're saying you're going to, and it getting to the product or to the customer on time there.
And
For late shipment, we want to be under 4%. And then for pre-fulfillment cancellation rate, we want to be under 2.5%.
makes sense. And then just a question that I think that, a lot of sellers have that when they're just starting out is, can you do MFN and FBA?
Yeah, that's a great question too. And we work with a lot of sellers on that, especially during the holidays. It's very beneficial to do MFN on the side if you were doing FBA as well, because it does take time for us to inbound products, and our fulfillment centers do get pretty busy during the holiday season. So it is advised sometimes to do MFN on the side to be able to, get that product to the customer and make sure that you are not going out of stock. Just going out of stock is, it's not going to be good for your ASIN in the long run. If you're out of stock for a little while, it's not going to hurt you too bad, but you just want to always make sure that you do have your product available so that you can, have it listed on Amazon's website and be for sale, which you can do, like I said, using MFN as well as FBA, two different listings, and you would just do that within the inventory tab of your Seller Central.
Great.
And just
And
really quick too, if anybody does have any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat as well. We know that you guys do have questions when we talk to multiple sellers a week, and sometimes people don't want to ask all their questions all at once. But if you guys do have any, feel free to throw it in the chat for us.
Yeah, and Nick, just going back to the performance notifications, what happens if you do go over those thresholds for performance metrics?
Yeah, definitely. And you may see early on, as you haven't done that many sales, that it's a little bit easier to get over those percentages because you don't have that many sales to account for. So you'll get a notification. You should get an email, and then you would also get a notification under your performance notifications, just telling you which metric that you have gone over and giving you a little bit of advice on how to handle it. You would not get blocked right away, or you wouldn't get blocked or suspended right away for any of those metrics, especially as a newer seller. We do take that into account. Now, that being said, if you are not doing anything to fix that and you continue to go well over those percentages, that's when action may be taken to block your account, and you would have to do a plan of action to appeal that, and kind of just state, why this happened and what you're doing moving forward to, I guess, correct these issues.
Great. And then I think one thing that we should definitely highlight is kind of like, if you guys do make those mistakes and you go over those thresholds, sometimes you'll have to put together a plan of action. So just always make sure you're trying to read exactly what it is that they're asking for in that plan of action, and stick with the data that you have and use that data when you're performing those. It's really important. So just wanted to hit on that really quickly. How can you just briefly touch base on like the shipping automation that we have with Seller Central and MFN?
Yeah, so our shipping settings automation is a new program that we launched. I think it's in everybody's account now. And what it does is it helps sellers just be able to provide an accurate ship time depending on the region that they are shipping to. And we can actually link that to, it's a little bit more in depth, and we can link that in chat too. Just show you guys, how to work through that workflow to fill out shipping settings automation. It is a lot easier and a lot quicker. You create these shipping templates that you can just reuse over and over again. So it's just pretty helpful, and it was really there to increase, the customer satisfaction at the end of the day, but it also was shown to increase sales for sellers by up to 25%, just because, they are seeing accurate ship dates at the end of the day, the customer is. So it helps them make a better educated decision on what they want to buy.
Got it. And it looks like we do have a couple questions that came in. So one of the questions is, I haven't sold in a while. Is there somewhere I can go to get a refresher on how to post on Amazon Seller Central to sell the items?
Yeah, definitely. So what I would recommend is under the performance tab, you can go down to Seller University, and there is tons of information there to walk you through listing and fulfillment, whether you're doing FBA or MFN. You can start there, and just listing is going to be your first step. So once you have the product, you're just going to want to list it. Whether it's already on Amazon or not, there's two different ways you can go about that. And that information is going to be in Seller University, along with a lot of other helpful tips and tricks for listing your products as well.
Great. And then one other question that we have so far is, do you have to use Amazon preferred polybags, or what do you recommend for packaging your products if you're doing MFN?
Yeah, so you're going to want to make sure that it's double sealed if it is a liquid. For poly bags and stuff, though, they don't have to be Amazon preferred poly bags. They just have to be actual poly bags with the correct requirements. And we do have that we can link into the chat. Let me try to pull it up. Bags.
Yeah, and just while you're doing that, I think, just kind of explaining, how to check. Like if you have something that's fragile, generally you're going to want to make sure that you have the correct steps and procedures and packaging in place. So you may want to have that polybagged and also bubble wrapped, right? So you're going to want to look at the policies, which I think Nick's pulling up. Is that right, Nick?
Yeah, I'm trying to grab it right here. And then also too, going off of that, we do randomly drop test items too. So it is something to keep in account that, you know, your items have to withstand transit to the customer at the end of the day. And in our warehouse, they're taken care of, but you know, they're going to be thrown around on UPS trucks and stuff sometimes. So you just got to keep that in mind when you're packaging your items to make sure that you're not going to send an item to the customer and then, oh no, it got broken in shipment and now they want a refund and potentially leaving a bad review. So that's just something to take into account there.
Got it. And just kind of going back to the question about MFN and FBA, you know, how do MFN sellers compete against, you know, sellers using FBA, which can have the Prime badge and, you know, help, you know, how can they help with their own buy box as an MFN seller?
I'm sorry, are you saying just MFN versus FBA and like how to get the buy box?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. How do you compete against FBA sellers who have
Yeah,
the buy
so
box?
on our end, we don't know exactly what goes into the algorithm that makes up the buy box. So we can't specifically tell you if you're under this price and under this percentage and you're in FBA, then you will get the buy box. But generally speaking, we see that price competitiveness is going to be the number one factor. So you could beat somebody who is in FBA if your price is a lot more competitive for you, and if your margins allow you to ship the product straight to the seller or to the buyer by the end of the day, you know, at a good price that's a lot cheaper than whoever is in FBA, there's a chance that you're going to win the buy box there. Generally speaking, too, though, FBA is a big factor. Like I said, we love to obsess over, you know, our customers at the end of the day, and FBA is going to be the best option the majority of the time for the end user, just because we have complete control of the shipping. So we know that it's going to get to them, you know, 1 to 2 days, free shipping. It does put that Prime badge on their listing as well. But yeah, just something to take into account there. And then also things like sales velocity and sales history go into the buy box as well.
Yeah, and I think you know, not to go too deep into FBA, but I think, you know, you can definitely um, see, you know, it's kind of just all about disincentivizing risk, right? It's going to help with us guaranteeing we get the product from point A to point B. If you utilize fulfillment by Amazon, we have a higher confidence level in that, correct? Right. So you just want to make sure that you can stay up to the tune in regards to being able to fulfill all your orders, and FBA gives you that opportunity because we're doing all that fulfillment. So it's just a really good opportunity if you're trying to scale your business. Um,
Yeah, definitely. I was sorry to interrupt. I was also
yep.
going to say, like, you know, obviously we have FBA and we have MFN, and it might take you a little bit of research or you know, a little bit of time to figure out which is going to be the right method of fulfillment for you. And it really just goes into, you know, what your margins are at the end of the day. And then if you're doing, maybe if you're just doing like retail arbitrage and you only have a few items here and there, you don't want to focus on getting to the post office or scheduling UPS pickups or going to the UPS store. So you could just drop all your items off at UPS one time instead of having to go out for every single purchase that comes through your account. And that would be doing FBA. So you could just drop your items off. We take care of the customer service at the end of the day, and you can focus on sourcing your products and running your business on your end rather than, you know, making those trips multiple times a day, if not multiple times a week, to ship out MFN. So it does take a little bit of time for sellers to kind of figure out what they want to do, but you know, FBA is always a great option as well.
Yeah, and I think FBA just get it's the key piece on my end is I think it helps with scaling the business. It's risk free because we're doing all the fulfillment for you. And you know, the other part of it is all that customer service that you have to do with merchant fulfillment goes out the door. You're now not liable for having to respond to the customers if you use fulfillment by Amazon, and we're doing all the fulfillment. So I think it's great for helping improve the chance that you do it correctly. So that's
Yeah,
my main point.
and those performance metrics that we went over, 10 minutes ago, that you have to worry about with MFN, you don't have to worry about those, like Chris was saying, with FBA. So there's no chance of your account getting, blocked or getting a performance notification if you're just not going to have to worry about late shipment rates or valid tracking rates because we have all that product. So.
Yep. And then don't want to go too deep into international shipping, but if could you just provide a brief overview of what that would look like as an MFN seller?
Yeah, definitely. So when you sign up nowadays to sell on Amazon, you automatically get access to all the regions that we ship globally. That being said, you would still have to create listings and go over some business parameters in those regions, but you can easily send product internationally. We have a whole system within your Seller Central account that we use to kind of help you with that and walk through the customs duties and the taxes that you need to be paid. So that's just one part of it, but we can also link that into the chat too, so you guys can take a deeper look into shipping internationally. That being said, though, I would always recommend to ship within the region that you are currently in first, just to get a feel, for selling on Amazon. And, if you want to do things a certain way, you'll kind of uncover that as you are growing on Amazon. So before expanding into multiple regions, it's definitely advised to just start in the region that you initially signed up in.
Great. And then Nick, just really briefly, could you just quickly go over the FBA New Selection Program?
Yeah, definitely. So the FBA New Selection Program it's a program that we have in place to kind of incentivize sellers to just, start using FBA, and it really just gets them kickstarted into FBA. What it does for you though is it will give you credits back to your account for shipping eligible ASINs into FBA. So you can, and it's free to sign up for. It costs no money. What I like to tell sellers is honestly, it's pretty much just free money that Amazon is giving you to give FBA a try. So, when you're going through that, you would also get up to $300 in promotional clicks for eligible ASINs that are being advertised. And there's a whole dashboard that helps you track this. Chris, can you link that dashboard for everybody? And there's a
Yep.
spot to enroll there as well. So you could just enroll. It is free to enroll in. It's never going to charge you anything. So just keep that in mind. And yeah, like I said, it's pretty much just incentive for newer sellers to get started with FBA. If you
Yep.
have
We
anything you
just
want to
linked
add
it.
on that too.
Yeah, I think like Nick said, it helps incentivize trying FBA out. You can get up to $100 in FBA inbound shipping, which is great because if you think about that, you get the partner discount from USPS, and so you're really getting a good deal for that. And then also on top of that, you can get up to $200 in sponsored promotions credits, so that can go to sponsored brands, it can go to sponsored products, and it's really a great way to get started and give you a little bit of an opportunity both in FBA and sponsored products to test it out without any risk. So I think it's a great way to give FBA and sponsored products a first shot. So I think, that's really it for the questions that I have. Nick, did you have anything else that you wanted to touch base on?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys have any last minute questions here, post them really quick. But thanks everybody for hopping on here. We're, like Corey had mentioned, we are going to be continuing this series, with other programs and other avenues of, other uh, other regions of FBA and Facebook, or sorry, other aspects of Seller Central. Getting my tongues twisted on this Monday afternoon here. But yeah, other than that, that is all we really had for you guys today. And thank you all for joining.
Thanks, guys.